Hi everybody, welcome back to IIPD. Today we are going to learn how to work on counters in EcoStruxure Machine Expert. So what exactly is counters? So counters in industry will be using for counting the number of the items. So let's open the project. You can see EcoStruxure Machine Expert, the software. So go to the properties. So I'll be doing with simulation and so let's see. First I have to click on this inactive, otherwise it will ask for the password. So let me click on this apply, go to the configuration. So the model which I am going to choose is TM221CE24R. So if you have an hardware like that, so I have this hardware here, so I choose this TM221CE24R. So for example, if you are doing with hardware, then you have to fill all these IP address, subnet mask, etc. and the security parameters should be enabled. So now I am doing with simulation. So I'll just add the module, then after that I'll move on to the program. So now we'll discuss about the counters. So when it comes to the counters, we have, when it comes to different brands, we have different kinds of counters like up counter, down counter, up down counter. So the main purpose of the counter is to count the number of items. So what happens is you have a preset value. So you are packing some things, or in a car parking area you have a limitation for the number of cars. You can accommodate only 50 numbers of cars. So and you want to count the number of cars entering in the car parking area. So what you will do is you will place a sensor there. So now comes the importance of the inputs to the counters. So the input to the counter will be the sensors, and the sensors will be proximity sensors. So it will give a pulse to the counter. So now what happens whenever the cars enter inside the car parking area, so there will be a pulse, and thus with this pulse the counter starts to count like 1, 2, 3, etc. So once it reaches the preset values, that is your 50, you can give the command like you have to close the door. Now this is up counter. Now again we have down counter, into which you have a full packet of items. So what you want to do is you want to release the number of items, or you have a car parking area, you have 50 number of cars inside, so one by one the car is going outside and you want to know the number of count. So in that case you will set the value as 50, and one by one when the car goes out the value decreases like 49, 48, etc. So once it reaches 0, that is the done of your down counter. So we have in industry, we have applications related to up counter and down counter. And the proximity sensors are, so for example in a conveyor belt the bottles are moving, okay. So the juices are made in the in an industry, it's a food processing industry. So the packed juice bottles are moving. So if you have metal detectors as sensors, so it will detect each and every bottle and give a pulse to the counter. And if it is not a metal can, so for example you have plastic bottles, in that case you can go for infrared sensors which has this transmitter and receiver. Whenever the rays are cut, a pulse will be generated, a 0-1 change will be there. So this can be given as the input to the counter. So for each and every pulse the counter starts to count. So initially I have told you the counters, the counters will be different for different brands. So in Schneider you have only up down counter, a combination of up and down counter. So your requirement, your application is for only up counter, then you have to use this as an up counter, not filling the terms for the down counter. So you will use only the up counter part. If you want only down counter, then you will use only the down counter part, leaving the up counter part. Or if you have an application with the combination of up and down, then you can use this directly. So let's see what all things are there. You can see reset, set, count up and count down. So first I have given a switch for the reset. So I'll name this as I0.0. I0.1. So count up, I'll give a input I0.2. So count down I0.3. So this is reset, set, count up and count down. So when it comes to up counter, you can see we will be using up CU. This is the signal which is given to the pulse input that is given for up counting. And we have this reset, because when you use the up counter it will increase. Once it reaches the preset value, it will give you the output, this D output, but it will continue. So in that case, if you want to reset, if you want to start from the beginning again, you can go for reset. Now if you want to use this as only a down counter, in that case we will be using C, D and S. So what is the purpose of S? S means you are setting the value. Initially the value of this counter will be 0. So the counter doesn't know, you have to decrease it. So in that case you have to set the value. So what happens is, whatever is in the preset value, once you set it, it will be the maximum value there. For example, if the preset value is 10, so if I am making it as 10. So when you click on when you press on this particular set, the maximum value becomes 10 here. And when you give the pulse, for example in CD, when you give the pulse, what happens? It will decrease to 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 up to 0 it will go. So that's a speciality of down counter. So you have to be very sure with these things. When you want to use this as a up counter, then up counter only, then in that case you can go for CU and reset. If you want to use this instruction as a down counter, then CD and S, or as both, you can use all the terminals. Now this is the done. Once it reaches the preset value, your output will be on. So I am giving this as Q0.0. And what is this E? So here you can see it is down count overflow. So down count overflow means if the value goes below 0, if the value goes below 0, this bit gets, E bits get active. So now what happens? The maximum preset value that can be applied inside this counter is 9999. So if the value goes below 0, it will directly go to 9999 and this bit gets active also. So let me connect an output also there just to see how it is working. Now what is this F? F is up count overflow. Up count overflow means, as I have said to you, the maximum preset value is 9999. If the value goes above that, this particular bit gets active, F bit get activated, and automatically the value will go to 0. So for F, once it goes above 9999, this bit gets active also, and the value, preset value, will change to 0 automatically. So let's see this also. Dot 2. Now and again, if you want to use the bit separately, for example done bit separately, then you can use the switch. So here you can see the name of the counter as C0. So when I type C0, so you can see all the bits, done bit, E bit, F bit. So for example, if you need D bit, you can choose D bit, and if you want to turn on another timer or counter or output, you can go for this one. For example, I have my timer here. So when this is done, I want to turn on the timer. Okay, this is just for an example I am telling you. You can connect an output or anything is fine. Okay, so let's see, you can see no error here. So we are doing simulation, sorry, so we have to click on this launch simulator. Yeah. Start controller, go to programming. So let me move this side. So let's see, so now you can see the preset is 10, the count value is 0 here. Okay, so now I am going to use this as an up counter. 1, so let me, okay, 2, so you have to give a pulse, so 0 and 1 you have to give continuously. 6, next is 7, 8, 10. So now you can see your done bit is on and your output is there, and here also the timer is working. When the done is on, if you want to turn on a timer, that is also working. Okay. So now I'm going to reset it. So if I increase again, let's see what is happening. It will not work. Yeah, it is going to 11. So you got the output at your preset value and it is going above that value. So for example, if you want to reset, you want to use this counter again. In that case, you can go for reset. See, it will go to the reset, it will go to 0 and you can start again. See, the value becomes 1. So here I will reset it. Now I want to use this as a down counter. So first what I have to do, see here you can see 0 value. If I directly use CD, what happens? It will go to 9999. Okay, it was below 0. So if something goes below 0, your E bit gets active. So what was E bit actually? Down count overflow. So now the down count overflow is working. So if I increase the value, let's see what happens. If I'm going to increase the count, see, F bit is active now. So that is up count overflow is active. It goes above 9999, the value will directly go to 0 and your F bit gets active. So if I want to use this as a down counter, first what I have to do, I have to use this set bit. See, so now the value is 10. Okay, so it's done here, so that the timer is working. So let's see how the down counter is working. So we'll leave this part. So now the value is set. Now I will use the CD bit. See, the value is 9, 8, 6, 3, 2, 0. So we got the down counter. So now if you want to use this for both the application, so now you can see like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I'll use the down counter, it will decrease. See, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, etc. Understood? So it's all according to our application. You have an up down counter with you, you can use it accordingly. If you want to use this as an up counter, then that is possible, or down counter, or a combo. This can be done as per our requirement, and you can use the bits accordingly. So I have shown you with the done bit, D bit, and if you want to see this E bit, you can take that E bit and use, or F bit, if you want F bit you can use. The counters number will be written here. The numbers will be like Z0, Z1, C2, C3, etc. So hope you understood this. We'll be back with another video. Bye.